All right, guys, what's going on? Sorry about a little bit of confusion this morning. I was going to go live about 20 minutes earlier, but checked my YouTube notifications and 3D Boxing was live with Chilltown. So I just figured I'd let them wrap their thing up. So I'm about 20 minutes late. There's a lot to talk about. It's only Thursday. It's Thursday morning here in Sydney, Australia. I'm going to be going live again in 5 hours with Paulie Malignaggi and Tommy Ranone. Paulie and Tommy run a show on YouTube. They break down fights just as I do. You guys will know Paulie, former world champion. Tommy also was a successful professional boxer. I think he retired with a record of maybe 24-6, having never been stopped. So both guys know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. I watch Paulie and Tommy's fight breakdown show to learn about the strategies of betting. So there's all about, whatever you watch my channel for, whatever you watch whoever else you for, whatever other channels you watch, I'm sure you have a reason. So I'm bringing those guys on. We're going to break down the Devin, Haney, and Brian Norman fight card. I'll let you guys pick their brains. I'll kind of just facilitate. Last night I did a debate with Gary. Gary from 3D Boxing. That debate is up on my channel. He chose he's going with Devin Haney. I'm going with Brian Norman. You can see that debate. The whole live stream is up, which is about an hour and 20 minutes. But I also cut just the 32 minutes of when him and I were going back and forth. It was pretty fun. It's the second week in a row where I've debated. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I debated Chilltown. We talked about the Tiger Johnson, Nick Flaz. So my goal over time is to create a debate sort of league from the live stream. Call it what you will. Bring on other YouTube boxing content creators, and we could debate these fights. And the longer you're on my channel, the more you'll know how I like operating. It doesn't have to be mean spirited. You don't have to be rude about it. You just bring your evidence. It's just like if you guys ever did moot court. If you want it, we anybody maybe ever wanted to be a lawyer, you do a debate class. My college, we call it moot court, MOOT. And you take topics and you research the topics and you go back and forth and you do it in an educated manner. So what I do is I watch my tape of my debate with TJ, and I watch my tape of my debate with Gary. So I know things I'm going to work on as well as a debater. So it's fun. I look at everything I do with the eyes of wanting to get better. So anyway, if you haven't watched that debate, we got a lot of good feedback from it, a lot of good comments. So that's up on the channel. Paulie and Tommy are coming on in 5 hours. You can read the thumbnail on this video. I'll leave the floor open to you guys. In the Discord, I gave you guys my first 4-leg parlay. I gave you guys also in the Discord my prop of the week. Today, I'll be giving you my long parlay, and I'll be giving you my method of victory parlay. Guys, if you're not in the Discord, it's pinned right here. Join our Johnny Says Boxing VIP group. It's a couple bucks a month. Get access to the Discord. There's great value there. If you have any questions, click it, learn more, or just ask me here. There are some prop bets that I really like going in the weekend. I don't usually do knockdown props, but there's one this weekend that I like. I'm actually confident with a few over and unders as well going into this week, and then obviously a money line. I will, I've been telling you guys this all week. I am waiting until my Friday night to put my money on Norman. The odds still haven't shifted that drastically, so I'm going to wait still. So we're about 4 to 5 minutes in. I want to bring up a screen real quick. I want to see what you guys think of this, and then I'll start talking to everybody. Thank you for all the super chats yesterday as well during the live stream. We got those live streams do really well with views, subscribers. I got maybe 5 new Johnny Says Boxing VIPs. My goal by the end of November, we only have about 10 days, is to get to 300 VIPs in the Discord. We're at about 285. So we're getting there. 15 more in the next 11 days would be awesome. It's great value. It's not just boxing. It's MMA. It's American football. It's soccer. It's hockey. It's pretty much turning into a professional bettors sort of oasis. And it's really, I think it's going to turn and evolve into an educational tool. I want to play this screen for you guys. So this is the Ring Magazine just posted this. In the Ring Magazine, we'll go over a lot of these. This is Brian Norman Jr. Media Day, and then you're going to see Dev as well. You could psychoanalyze this stuff however you want. I'm looking at this stuff from an entertainment perspective, and this is Dev. Yeah, they both look sharp. If you could judge it however you want, just say they're not in there together. It's not like they're competing. The side by side is kind of making it like they're doing it together, which they're not. You know, Brian Norman Jr. The one thing I really like about Norman, I've been talking about, is that young energy. That speaks for something regarding big fights. He doesn't know how to lose. He doesn't know how to stop. I think that is going to play in his favor come fight night. I can't wait for this fight card. I'm such a boxing head. I spent hours last night watching all of Puma Puma Martinez's fights tape. I went all the way back to 2018 with Puma. And so after watching Puma's fight tape, he's fighting Bam Rodriguez. I put a big bet in on Bam by stoppage. And it's no takeaway from Puma. I found a tape and I put it in the Discord of him getting dropped in 2019 against a South African fighter. And then also he got dropped in his last fight against Ioka in the 10th round, a fight in which he was up. That was a rematch. Ioka dropped him. Ioka's not a big puncher, and he gets caught with the uppercut. And you should never be getting caught with, you know, that. But the thing is, without the setup, you land an uppercut after a setup or a feint or a counter. The uppercut he got dropped with against, I put in the Discord in 2020. Now, granted, he was younger. My point is, I think Puma reminds me of one of those fighters who he feels he punches harder than he really does, which is fine. He's really brave. He's really on the front foot. I've said this all week. I feel he's tailor made for Bam Rodriguez, and I was giving him the benefit of the doubt regarding making it the distance. After watching hours last night, I'm so convinced Bam stomps him. I put Bam by stoppage on a parlay, which I never do. So that's where that is. Guys, as you're tapping in, we got a bunch of comments. I'm going to get to the VIPs first. If you guys want to become a VIP, it's a couple bucks a month, like my boy Mike here. Click the link pinned in the comment section below. Mike has a fight coming up in December. Hopefully camp's going well. Big dog, love from Australia, for real. What's up, V? What's good, brother? Another Johnny Says Insider. Hopefully you guys are doing good. We got a big weekend ahead. It feels like a big fight weekend. Am I wrong? Like going in, like it's almost like what we're creating here with the Discord on the channel. It's almost like with all of this sort of energy we put into every fight week, like we'll get excited about a fight card and like a regional fight card in the UK, and we get excited about it. Like I woke up this morning, Thursday morning. It's almost like it's like Christmas. I love what I do, man. If you had any doubt about my intentions, I do this for the love of the game. I freaking love boxing. Boxing was my first love as a little boy, and it broke my heart when I was 15. And then I didn't find boxing again until I was 31. It's something I never really talk about. I was 30. So I didn't do so much of hit a heavy bag from the time I was 15 until I was 30. But I walked into my first boxing gym and started wrapping my hands as a 7-year-old. So boxing's always been my first love. The best decision I ever made was coming back to it about 15 years ago, and we're here. Jinru, salute. I'm happy to catch live in the office corporate environment. Let's go. I keep it clean. We keep it clean. Thank you for tapping in. What's up, Johnny? Hope everything is good. Yeah, what's up, King? We got a good day going on. I think I saw you. You boys got action in the college football thread. I think I saw you guys. I think there's a Miami of Ohio is playing. Who's Miami of Ohio playing? I think you boys are getting action. Is it Kent State? I think it's an all Ohio affair. We're going to stick to boxing still. I mean, when you just look at this kid hitting. So this is Benavidez, always looking sharp. The thing about Benny's fighting Anthony Yard. Yard is a tough, big dude at light heavyweight. Benavidez hasn't had any stoppages since he's gone up. A bet I like on this one, I like David to get a late round stoppage, but I also, on a separate parlay, I'll share it with you later, it could go the distance. The odds are crazy with it. Yeah, so Eddie's referring to Pro Box. The Pro Box card is dope. I'm not getting Let me see, Varon and Via. I'd assume Varon would be the favorite there, based off Varon's dude. That's gonna be a hell of a fucking. That's corporate. That's gonna be a hell of a fight. I I'm acting like I just can't pull the odds up. Let's. Told you I'm not. I'm still getting used to the technology side. Let's see if we get Roman Via and Varon. Yeah, no shit. They all opened up. Good looking out, Eddie. Yeah, I assume that. I assume Roman would be the dog here. I think Varon's a tough out. I think it's going to be a dog fight. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I would probably I would lean on Varon here. We'll go down all of them. We'll do a rapid fire real quick. Niall Brown versus Darren Johnstone. Based on the odds, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I taped Niall Brown. I do, however, I gave you guys this in the Discord. I did tape Wagner and Eubank. I'm not doing a stats on live video. I have Harlem on a long parlay, just to let you know. I'll be releasing the long parlay for the boys in after this live stream. So just keep that in mind. People are like, what? You know, I watched the tape with Wagner versus David Pepot. David Pepot is the kid from France who just went to Australia, fought Liam Perro really, really well. So a loss to David Pepot isn't the end of the world. The thing is, Pepot has 4 knockouts out of like 20 some wins. He stopped Wagner. Harlem Eubank, I think he's going to be, you know, everything how that fight, his fight of his career, the fight to put him in the position where he thinks he could be against Jack. We know how that ended, left a bad taste in his mouth. This is his get back. The odds have dropped from 138 to 124. So I do have Harlem on a long parlay to let you guys know. Okay, so my boy, shout out to Marcus Knoll from Ohio Runs Boxing. He told me about this Dante Benjamin Money Pal fight. Now, I can't believe it's on our books. He was if you this is really going to go into the weeds here with boxing knowledge, but there's an old road warrior from Youngstown, Ohio named Darnell Boone. Darnell Boone, if you pull up his box rec, is one of these guys. He's going to have a real road warrior record, but he's been in there with some really good guys, and he's one of these dudes that will look good against world-class fighters. Now, I only reference that, and he doesn't, obviously, he has like a 50-50 record. I'll pull up Darnell Boone's box rec. He was comparing, he was saying Money Pal is live here. Now, I'm probably not going to bet it. He was comparing Money Pal to Darnell Boone in terms of going into every fight as the B side, being a big dog. In every fourth fight, Darnell Boone would win when he'd be a 4-1 dog. So this is Darnell Boone's box rec. So if you don't know this guy, look at the 6 draws. Those 6 draws mean that think about Emmanuel Augustus, the drunken master, right? Similar to Darnell Boone. In boxing, you have these B-sides who travel, who in a close fight isn't going to get the decision, and in a blowout, when they're up on the cards, when they didn't win by knockout, it's going to be a draw. Thus, you got 6 draws. You got 24 and 28. Darnell Boone could easily have a record reading such at maybe 34, maybe 36 and 16. It could be 38 and 12. Like it could be when you do your research. In boxing's filled with guys like Darnell Boone. And I only reference, let's see who he is, who he's fought. Adonis Stevenson. The Adonis Stevenson pops off the screen for me. The Sergey Kovalev fight. I'm pretty sure he dropped Kovalev in that fight. Willie Monroe Jr. He beat Willie Monroe Jr. So my point is, let's see Money Pal. It's a bit of an obscure fight. It's just I'm just relaying info to you boys because I got a message on my Instagram from Ohio Runs Boxing about this fight, and he messaged me like a month ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. He was saying this young fella at 13-2 at plus 400 is a live dog. So this is who he's fought. He's lost to a guy. He's coming off of L. Lost to Von Alexander. You guys should know his name. And this is Dante Benjamin, 12-0. So Dante's 12-0 and 9 wins. This is the Ohio kid. It's interesting he would say that. So maybe, because his page is literally Ohio Runs Boxing, and sometimes he can be a little bit critical on Ohio fighters. Maybe that's the case. But look at the records. Look at the records Benjamin has fought, guys that he's fought. 11 and 19, 14 8, 7 and 7, 30 and 18. Not the worst. It's just do your own tape. I just had to bring it up. I didn't expect to see that fight on my betting app. But Money Palette plus 480. He might be worth a look for you boys if you guys are dog hunters like myself. I'm gonna continue saying what's up. Guys, if you want me to see all these comments, man, it's a sign that we're growing. But join the Discord so you can get elevated. That's another feature that YouTube told me to tell you. Yo, cats be getting elevated. Tyro Ferrum, what's up? Let's get this money. That's what we do. Who do you have winning between Varen? I think we already got to that. Puma looks too happy, also like Yard, but Yard may get the job done if he hits harder than Morel. Yard could crack. Watch Heaven Sent. Watch Yard versus Lyndon Arthur. That was his last fight. We streamed it on the channel. I mean, we broke it down, and I picked Yard in that fight. We won money in that fight, but the performance that Lyndon had against Yard is actually why I turned it around and took Lyndon to beat Bradley Ray 2 weeks ago at plus money, because the first, and they had fought. I think that was a trilogy, Arthur versus Yard, and the first 5 rounds I had Lyndon up 4-1, and Yard just started really flat. He kind of was stuck, and then he started turning it on. And then the mistake Lyndon made is he was just hanging on the ropes too much. And so, interestingly enough, the fight against Bradley Ray, Arthur made that adjustment because Arthur likes he's slick. So sometimes guys will rely on their slickness up against the ropes against a guy that they feel they can't get hurt. But then again, the rounds are just running by and they lose rounds. So with Yard, I expect him to start a little bit earlier. We know with Benavidez what we're getting. A guy with an amazing engine, a guy with amazing volume and pace. He's mean as hell in the ring. He has self-belief as high as anybody that you can name in pro boxing. This is for a world title. So I think this is Yard's 3rd shot, probably his last shot at a world title. I think David Benavidez breaks him down late. So I actually have a sneaky prop. I have Benny on the money line on 1 ticket, but those odds crashed. I could see Benny getting a late stoppage, but being a gambling man, I also have Benny by decision because the odds are just insane. I didn't want to pass that up. So I got Benavidez all around the board. And where I'm getting better at as a gambler is my strategy from learning learning from guys like PARLAY and Tommy Ranone, who will be on the show, guys. Live stream in 5 hours with PARLAY Malignaggi and Tommy Ranone on my channel. And I'm going to talk, the strategy, meaning that like the $1.10 on Benny, I like it. The odds are a bit wide for me to take the money line with any substantial amount of money. But when you look at the points, right? If we're playing statistics here, Yard's the bigger dude, bigger puncher. Yard's tough as nails. He's been stopped twice. But when you talk about Benavidez coming up in weight, his style of punching, the toughness of Yard, I like that 295 points. If I had a way, if we're talking about sprinkling or even going heavy, risk versus reward, $1.67, the return isn't good enough for me to even take that bet. So it's betting for a reason, and sometimes the bet, the smart bet is within the wager. So we always talk about on the channel who's going to win, who's going to lose, how are they going to win. We never really talk about the bet within the bet. And what I mean by that is sometimes the most important bet is how much you wager on a specific outcome. So I feel rather than going heavy on something, getting tempted at $1.67 because of Benavidez's knockout to win ratio, and then you're watching the fight, I'd rather, what I'm doing personally, I'm taking points. I have Benavidez, and these are separate tickets, and I'll share them with the Discord boys after this live stream. In the Discord, you guys, though, already have, I'll show you real quick. if that ever loads. Okay, so this is a live shot of our Discord, guys. I've already given you my, so this is a 4-leg for the boys in the Discord. I also gave you, damn, I've already given you 3. I've given you 3 now. So my prop of the week, it's $1.99. It's a prop within the Haney versus Norman fight. My 4-leg is here for the Discordians. And that's what this is. Okay. I will be posting for everybody, the whole channel, you'll get my long parlay. And I think I'm going to give you all the boys for the support one more. So this is a live look into the Discord. They're talking about Aaron McKenna, who looked really good at his last fight. And we know Hamza silenced me as a doubter with his dismantling of Ed. This there's a football game. There's a MAC game tonight. I think it's Miami. No, I can't really read it. We'll wait. We'll get back to boxing. I kind of got distracted. Johnny, I watched the open workouts. It looks like Haney is planning on sitting on punches. That's wrong. Yeah, I watched the open workouts too. There's not, guys. There's nothing about Haney like the Mike's comment here. He's a pro boxer. You know, he's an undefeated pro. He's I think 10-0. His 11th pro fight is in a few weeks in the UK. Buy a table, buy tickets, follow Mike TV. During my debate yesterday with Gary, I brought up an adjective. I brought up a word called optics. The optics of a fighter. A descriptive word to describe the body language, the nonverbal communication of a fighter. Even in the pro day, even watching Devin Haney today, I don't like his optics. There's nothing about his optics that has, like, even this to me, I see timid. You know, I thought he looked, I don't like the Jose Ramirez fight. I think he did not look good against Ramirez. We know how he looked against Garcia. Regis was what, 2023, 2.5 years ago? This will only be Dev's 3rd fight since Regis Prograis. This is Brian Norman Jr.'s 3rd fight in 2025. Look at the optic. Look at his energy. Look how he looks, though, non-verbally versus... There's something to say about that, and it's not the only reason. It's like a hair lash, an eyelash of why I'm picking Brian, but it's definitely an element of why I like Norman as well. Yeah, it's the calm before the storm. Let's go. It's like, dude, this is fun, man. This is, bro, as a grown ass man, I'll be 44 this year. Like, I get excited to spar, and I'm not even talking about exciting to gamble. This is fun because we have a group of guys. We're building a community who I didn't realize like boxing as much as I like boxing. Because I've always done this. I just only started telling people about it maybe within the year in terms of like broadcasting this stuff. I can't wait, dude. Like the Pro Box card, guys. The Pro Box card has some fights on it. I think Erdenbot is fighting, isn't he? This fight has been rescheduled. Like, Erdenbot has been on and off for like what, a month in a row? He was supposed to fight a month ago. Yeah, new opponent. This is dude. If you've never seen Senda Batar Erdenbot fight, he's a fun fighter. Abraham Montoya, do your film study there. And when we're talking about dog hunting, Pro Box, we'll always find a dog on the Pro Box card. That's why I'm kind of like looking at it the way I am. So Dante Benjamin, Money Pal. If you guys are dog hunters, do your due diligence. Money Pal, like I told you, I think those odds are a bit wide. Erdenbot versus Montoya. Veron versus Roman Villa. I know there's going to be smart money coming in on Roman based off of, the name, the branding, the big fight he had against Boots. Things didn't go his way, his style. But Veron, he's a tough guy. This is a fight in Spain. Now, people are trying to get excited about Casamonica. I taped this. I taped John Fur. I taped the Italian. I'm not doing a Stats Don't Lie video. Full transparency, boys. I have John Fur on a parlay. So I do have the Spaniard on a 5-leg parlay. I have John Fur on a parlay with Harlem Eubank on a parlay on the money line and a few others. Here's a fight. So about 6 weeks ago, I get a video, I get a audio message. It's about this card. It's about this fight. And my buddy from New York, he's like, "Yo, Johnny, Vito Mielnicki just got added to the ring card." He was like, "This is totally nepotism at his best." If you know anything about the Mielnicki last name, you'll know about his father being a promoter. You'll know about the last time we saw him, this kind of bougie top rank card in New Jersey. They put Vito in there with a guy in it was the smallest ring I've ever seen. It might have been a 12-foot ring. And Vito couldn't get him out of there. He couldn't even hurt him. And what they were trying to do was build the knockout to win ratio with Vito to get bigger fights and bigger optics for his branding because of the pops, right? So doesn't happen. Gets a win against a guy that he should have knocked out. Vito's not the biggest of punchers, but then he gets picked to be on this card. So my buddy calls me, leaves me this message. He's like, "Yo, there's this. I think Samuel Noma is a Nigerian. I think he might be 18-0. He has an undefeated record." They're like, they found this kid with an undefeated record. They were like, Mielnicki, I'm not betting on it, but my buddy who's a D-gen from New York, he went heavy on Mielnicki. It's just something to think about. If you guys have like a parlay and the odds are like you're getting near plus money or you're getting greedy, I was told that this one is sort of like a parlay booster. I'm being honest with you, I don't bet on Vito Mielnicki. After I saw him, not being able to get that dude out last fight in that 4-foot ring, Vito Mielnicki's on my no bet list, but I'm just relaying info to you. Samuel Noma does have an undefeated record, but don't get honey dick by it. Noma was brought in on this card for Vito to look good against. The air feels different knowing. Yeah, the regular people won't understand, Eddie. The normal people in humanity won't. They don't understand. I want Haney to push Norman Jr. in the face. Oh, yeah, it seems when he does things like he loses. Haney is getting testy. Dude, these are full alpha fighters. Johnny, who do you think would be the biggest upset on the card? And guys, this is a great question. Upset on the card. Who do I think has the greatest chance of being upset? Now, let's just throw away Devin versus Norman because those odds have been 50-50 all week. And so we'll just even come fight night, if they swing one way or the other, it wouldn't really be an upset, right? The fans have it, the voters have it, the matchmaking did a really good job. The odds makers, 50-50. We'll throw that one away. I don't even think it would be an upset, but I feel that who's in. I think people are sleeping on Sam Noakes. I'm uploading my breakdown. I have Abdullah Mason on that fight. I have Abdullah Mason by knockout on that fight. I think Sam Noakes, he's super brave. I think he punches a little bit too much. I think he's gotten away with some things that he's not going to be able to get away with against Abdullah. He's a grown man. He's 28. That matters. Grown man strength is a real thing. Abdullah's still a baby, 21 years old. He's still growing into his frame. Abdullah has everything though. We have seen him get dropped. The Johan Vasquez fight, and he got dropped in a way in which those were mental errors in which he didn't make an adjustment, and he got made to pay for again. A bigger puncher, he would have got stopped. So as you level up, you do want to make those mistakes against guys on your come up. I talked about this all week. So the good thing for Abdullah is he made those mistakes on the come up, not in a world title fight. Same thing with Norman Jr. against Janelson, when he came in with that fucking telegraphed right hand and got one of the most beautiful chopping straight rights you'll see when Janelson dropped him. It was freaking gorgeous. But Norman's made adjustments. So to answer your question, I would be the odds wouldn't call it the biggest upset, but in terms of where they're going, the hype, everybody, guys like myself who have high hopes for Mason's entire career, I think it would shock people if Noakes beat him. Can Noakes beat? Noakes is a dog. I don't think he punches hard enough though, and I don't think he moves his head off the midline enough, and I think he's too brave. And Noakes likes to fight in Mason's wheelhouse. It's gonna be a fun firefight. Here's one thing though: Mason has never been past the 6th round. Noakes has fought into the 10th multiple times. This is a 12 rounder. So you could take that however you want it. I addressed this to our Discord, and when I brought this up in the Discord was like, well, because of that, Mason's going to get him out even earlier. Well, the devil's advocate approach would say, well, because of that, Mason's never been in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, let alone the championship rounds, the 11th and 12th. He's never. Will Mason jump up early, realize that Noakes is a true vet, can't get him out of there, and start fading? We don't know. That could happen. Then Noakes could turn it on late. Who knows? The facts are the facts, and the facts are this: Mason has never been past the 6th round. Johnny feeling greedy, knowing by stoppage. It's all good to feel greedy, Brendan. I'm sure you've done your work up until this moment. I'm sure that you guys, if you don't have the funds to bet and feel greedy, don't bet. If you don't have the funds to bet and lose and not be mean to your family, don't bet. If you're not having fun, if this shit isn't entertaining to you, and you're betting because you need to pay rent, please don't bet. If you watch all of my Stats Don't Lie videos, halfway through every single one of my videos, I give you guys a 1-800 gambling hotline for a reason. That is legit as hell. I used to live in Vegas. One of my closest mates when I lived in Vegas, our friendship deteriorated. His life deteriorated due to a gambling addiction. He wasn't able to control himself. He was a full-on degenerate. It's not a funny thing. It's not a cool thing. It's not something to brag about, all of your losses. So on that point, if you're not having fun and you can't afford the L, don't gamble. For real, for real. Vegas isn't Vegas for no reason. Those big skyscrapers and buildings and casinos aren't opulent because people are winning. I do. ADO. So many fights open up now in my books. You putting another marathon. Oh, you know it, baby. We do it all the time. We do it every day about the same time. Be out. Tyler Farron. Oh, and the main card. I mean, not the whole card. Yeah, we got you. Guys, wherever you're tapping in, we're floating between 50 and 70. Can we like this video? Give me a thumbs up. Sign up to the Discord. The link is pinned in the comment section below. Let me know where you're tapping in from. However you can support us. Like, join, subscribe. Let's get it. Eddie Francisco Veron could steal the week at 3:30, even though Vila is solid. But last time we said it's... What do you mean? Last time we said it's steal the week, we saw what happened. We won. This is a chat. This is a good chat to have, Eddie. I was talking to Tommy about this. How many times, Eddie, have you gotten robbed on your parlays? How many times have you lost a parlay with one leg, whatever sport? How many times did you need that one fight to come through and it was a draw or you got robbed? How dare you, Eddie, talk about the last time we said a steal of the week was Landolfo? We saw what happened. What did we see? What happened? I hit a 15-legger on Landolfo. I went heavy on Landolfo on the money line. We all won. He won. Now, so we have to now judge how they win, or what do we need to do? We need to just win. And also, find the Rio Medina fight. They tried scrubbing it. I could not believe that would... You watch... I'm done talking about this, but you watch Gayaz versus Matias get his ass beat. 6 weeks later, he fights Rio. He literally coaches boxercise in Tijuana. Rio Medina beat Gayaz. Gayaz couldn't move. And then all of a sudden, he looks good against Landolfo, and Landolfo just starts getting hit. To say that we saw what happened, what do you mean? We won, bitch? We transferred like $4,000 out of our betting account into our bank account? I'm just stating facts, player, 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 player. Yeah. I've never blocked anyone. I'm seeing people. Could you imagine if I blocked people? I don't block people. I see you, Toya. I see you, Heaven Sent. I'm Heaven Sent. Make it crazy. Mankey got to get his subscription up. I see that star. That's the crazy thing about the stars and the subs. When that star disappears, it tells me that the boys haven't re-upped on our JSB Discord boy. Via's 270. He fought a guy who fought like Diego Pacheco. Oh yeah, where you guys must. Damn, the comments are crazy. All right, I'm catching up, guys. Boxing booth in the house. Mason Fernandez, Eubank, Bam. For oh, okay. I saw Fernandez. I was like, you're taking Puma to beat Bam. That's John Fur. Yeah. No. I like it, boxing booth. I like it. The Bam knock. I'm sold on the Bam knockout, guys. I was going life and death. I'll share some with you, just so you know I'm not playing. How do I put this? How can I share this on your screen? Yeah, I know. I know. This is the crazy thing about the mindset of a bettor and a gambler is that when we get robbed, it's like sickening. But even when we win on a robbery, y'all need to fix your mind. You need to see, you need to get your mind right. The only way to get your heart right, you got to get your mind right. A massive gift. No, it wasn't a massive gift. You crazy. Johnny, who does Norman remind you of? He reminds me of Joe Frazier. I always tell you that. Not just the fight style. I'm not talking about like his face. I'm talking about when you watch him do media, when you watch him do interviews, his left hook, the mindset, how angry he fights. I see a throwback mini Joe Frazier. So I'm high on Norman. The traveling mindset, like the dude. Not everybody would put their hand up to go to Japan to fight in basically a title eliminator that he ended up getting. Cameron Vong. Yeah, I saw this fight. I don't have many thoughts on the fight. I think Cam he's a favorite. Are you guys getting? Let's see. Yeah, I'm not getting options. I think I saw that on Bet365. Nah, no. He fights. That's a terrible comparison, guys. You guys gotta stop listening to King. And no shade, because you're my guy. But I saw somebody on YSN talking about he fights like Spence. He doesn't. Erickson Lubin and Errol Spence are methodical, prodding forward southpaws who kind of use their jab to set up their backhand. Dude, Brian Norman Jr. is an orthodox fighter, uses his athleticism, likes to fight in the clinch, likes to fight in the pocket, always looking for his backhand. So just for the fact that those two are Southies and the other one is an orthodox, you can't even say that because the angles are different. The angles are off, the matchmaking's off in terms of their stylistic contrasts. But Brian Norman, yeah, I've been seeing this over the last 24 hours. I don't think he reminds me of Spence at all. Which wouldn't be a bad thing. EJ is one of my favorite fighters, to be honest with you. Errol, dude, when Errol was cooking at welterweight, man, Errol's one of my people. That's a whole different chat. People are like, Errol's not a Hall of Famer. I'm like, shut up, dude. Errol Spence carried boxing for like a decade. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence, one of my favorite fighters. I think Brian would probably take that as a compliment for sure. I just don't see it. The setups. I think in their primes, they move differently, man. The angles they move on are differently. The action looks different too. I think Norman is actually more. Norman to me is a little bit more slick, a little bit more less predictable, and probably a good. Errol was predictable. Nobody could do anything with it until somebody did something with it. Yeah, these people are saying. I can't believe people who are. You know what, boxing booth? This is one of the things. I think some of the people who were saying we got gifted with a robbery with Lindolfo in our Discord, I'm talking. I think some of those people, because we know the psychology of a bettor, and we know everybody in our group isn't supporting everybody. They wanted to see us lose, which is fine. I feed off of that shit. So there were people watching that 15 leg parlay. They're like 1-1. They were like, please lose. I don't want that motherfucker to win. And I'm sitting there like, I know that you know that I know you thinking like that. And I'm glad that you don't want it to win. Why pick it up? Because John Casamonica has not done it for me. You look at Casamonica's resume, look at the way he fights, look at his power. John Fernandez, not these guys are domestic. One's a domestic Spanish guy who you could say he's fought on the world level. Casamonica is an Italian fighter. I'm not investing a fortune into a Spanish kid versus an Italian kid. The fights in Spain. John Fur's the A side. He could pop more. He's more aggressive. I like Fernandez in that fight. Casamonica, when I watch his tape, slow. No one's talked about Quadras. What's your guys? No one's even brought up Quadras fight. Quadras is fighting Suboy. Suboy's 2-0. Quadras is a guy who fought Bam Rodriguez in a world title, went the distance with him. He seems like he's 137 years old. This would be his 50th pro fight. Quadras is 37, super slow. I think he's a 4-1 dog. I think that's a fight to look at. If you guys are dog hunting, see if your book has Suboy versus Quadras. That's one that's interesting to me. High interest. What's up, baby boy? Yeah, Luca Harden plays similar. Harden. I just would never compare. Uh, I think also because the Southern accent though, because and Norman loves EJ. I like Norman's revelry for EJ. So I mean, when I think of who does Brian Norman Jr. remind me of stylistically, Errol Spence Jr. wouldn't even pop up in my head about that. I told you guys we went over this earlier, Joseph P. If you want to rewind it, or I'll just give it to you right now. Benavidez on the money line isn't paying that much. The knockout's only $1.67. I have Benavidez on points. Yeah. Well, we might as well just pull this up. Okay, here are the odds. I'll pull and then I'll pull the box rec up after this. Now, this is right. This is a guy, he's 2-0, Olympian. We've seen this story. I'm getting kind of tired of repeating this story, especially the last 8 months in boxing. Sofiane Oumaha in France, Olympian under 10 pro fights, 4-1 favorite against a 30 fight vet, lost. Albert Badr Gaziev, Olympian, under 10 pro fights, fought a 30 plus pro fight veteran in Jazza Dickens, was a 5-1 favorite, lost. Galal Yafai, under 10 pro fights, Olympian, 4-1 favorite in the UK, fought Frankie Rod and lost. He had Frankie Rod at 35 plus pro fights. So this almost seems like why not sprinkle something on Quadras here? If we're talking about patterns, I feel like the books are baiting us too with this one. The thing is, Quadras is really slow. His speed, he like when you watch his tape. So this is Quadras. What do the books have him? What, plus 400? He's 37. I think when he fought Bam, he was 33, and Bam was 21. He went the distance with Bam. Hasn't lost since that Bam fight though. Yo, why? You know what? Hasn't lost since the Bam fight. He loses back-to-back fights against Estrada and Bam. That was what, 4 years ago? Hasn't lost since the Bam loss. I think Bam and him fought in 2022 maybe. And then he's fought Meza, Morales, Pedro Guevara, Marquez, and Torres. It's in Japan. This is a real dog, man. Quadras is a live dog here. This is who he's fighting. What happened to how are we just going to throw away pro experience? Tomoya Subo, 2-0. Here's his AMI record. Are we getting? Are they like? Are we getting baited? We know this. There might be more fights on there. BoxRec only lists the amateur record that the coaches upload to the website, so this could be bigger. Just last night, I got a message from Sam Noakes' father about, because I used BoxRec on my breakdown, and BoxRec had his amateur record wrong. He was like, BoxRec only has 13 AMI fights. He was like, Sam had over 50 AMI fights. I'm like, that ain't my fault, motherfucker. What do you want me to do? I was like, yo punk ass is the one supposed to be uploading to BoxRec, not me. I'm just relaying information and data. I'm a conveyor. So yeah, we see the records. So you see that, now you hear that. And these are the odds. I might take the bait. Why not? I might take Quadras here. I have to watch more tape. Anybody tape them? Anybody tape Suboy? I couldn't find a lot on Suboy. Shout out to Gil, our moderator. Gil said that he put in our chat in the Discord tape on Suboy. Mike D in the house. What's up, playa? Yeah, playa. Keys to be Boxer Harley. I know. I got called out on it. Is there 100% accurate encyclopedia for modern boxing records? Like, is there one better than BoxRec? I think I know the answer, but I'm like, maybe you guys, because the chat is super educated here. Is there an up-to-date, more accurate encyclopedia of boxing records than BoxRec? Because for a guy like me who like double checks things and very thorough, when I get messaged by a father of a fighter of a breakdown I've done because BoxRec has a stat wrong, that bothers me. Obviously, I take accountability, but it's like, what are my checks and balances? So I have to then check BoxRec, and then if it's how do I check that? Does anybody know? Not for boxing, man. Tapology. I use Tapology for MMA, but Tapology on boxing is not even close. We should make it better. I wanted to. I had this idea about a year and a half ago. And I know, who was it? Do you remember? Like, if we watch this, if we go to Tank Davis's BoxRec, we're not going to see him listed as the WBA champion. Watch this. I'll tell you why. So we know that Tank's the WBA champion, right? But BoxRec doesn't recognize the WBA anymore because the WBA signed that contract with, was it Fight Facts? With Fight Facts. And they never did anything with it. So Fight Facts was supposed to be a company that was using all the analytics to make it, like, this would have been about a year ago. And when the WBA signed on with Fight Facts, that BoxRec was like, all right, we don't recognize the WBA anymore on our website. But obviously it's never materialized, has it? Only thing is probably Ring Magazine. They don't have stats like that. By the way, they're pretty resourceful. But other than that, I got Frazier money line, Abdullah by knockout, and bam. Let's go, interest. Let's go, interest. So what I'm doing, guys, I am putting all of my Brian Norman Jr. bets on their own ticket. So Ryan Hong, I'll do a walkthrough with you, big dog. I am a chauffeur. I'm also a host. So Ryan Hong, you will get. I'll be your digital host to our private boxing Discord. I'll remove the veil and I'll show you the whole thing, guys. It's only a couple bucks a month. Right now, we have 285 people in the Discord. Okay, these are paid. Johnny says insiders. The way it's organized, and I give all the credit to my moderator, Gil. Gil, like a month ago, this shit was chaos. Shit was everywhere, right? It was like my college dorm room. I gave the keys over to Gil as a moderator, and he organized it, and I'll show you the organization. So when you get to the Discord, Ryan, you'll see my picks. So nobody else is allowed to post in here. So this is where every week, if you want to either tail my picks or see my winnings, I post everything in here. That's my prized possession. That's last week. That's the 15-legger I hit. So you guys are getting my picks before the fights, okay? And I give. So I've already posted in the Discord for this coming week my 4-legger paying $3.95, and my prop of the week that's on the Haney Norman card paying $1.99. So that's Johnny's picks. Community picks is a new feature that Gil launched. This, in my opinion, guys, is the future of joint rolling capabilities. This is like, if that, I can't remember the movie. Anyway, the community picks, what Gil does every week, he does a poll and he does all the big fights. And this is an algorithm we've created in our Discord. Shout out to Gil. So we have so far 130 of the boys voted. And Gil will put these parlays up and say, pick 3. Pick your 3 on this 3-legger to win. And then over the fight week up until fight night, the algorithm correlates all this data and then gives us our Johnny Says Boxing parlay that you guys could bet on, right? So we made our own Discord our algorithm made 2 parlays last week. We post those parlays right here under community picks. They both hit. And this is all based off of the knowledge of, this is based off of our group's votes. So Delgado, Azim, Espo, Delgado, Azim, Catterall. So both of them in the algorithm, if you would have picked both of these, they both hit. So that's another feature. I don't know how many other Discords have this as a feature. Unless Gil, my moderator, is inventing all this shit in other Discords, it's a pretty, that alone, guys, for me. Okay, then we have bet slips. Bet slips is all the boys. You guys post all your bets here, whether before the fights or after the fights, guys. And we have pro fighters in here. We have coaches, Coach Bermudez. I always shout out Coach Bermudez because, he's Rohan Polanco's coach. We have professional gamblers in here. We have content creators in here. We're about 285. I want to get this to 300 by December 1. And it's all because of you guys. So here's our MMA channel. The MMA channel. In each channel, guys, you're going to have your own experts. Kiza is always killing the game. Spinback Jordy. In each, I don't even go. Basketball I never walk into, but we have a basketball Discord. And you'll see the same faces, winning and winning. This is the American football Discord. This is both college football and NFL. I have a level 3 fitness. So any level you get, level 1, 2, or 3, you get access to the Discord. This is my fitness one for my online fitness coaching. This is the NHL hockey. Gil, that's our moderator. He kills it in there. And this is soccer. And then obviously we're going to do a tournament, an NCAA tournament one for the 64. We're going to do a Super Bowl pull. We're going to do, obviously, launch baseball when baseball comes back around. And this is the bread and butter boxing, up to date. And then another feature that I don't know how many other Discords have is we have fight-to-fight channels. So if you want to just talk about one of the upcoming fights, you just go here and you click on it. So it's a very active Discord. It's very educated. It's moderated. There's just how I run my channel. No hate, no racism, no prejudice, no misogyny. Every now and then when when we pick the wrong fighter to win, shit pops off. But we're all men and we can get through it. But hopefully I answered your question. Oh yeah, locks for the weekend. See, Mikey D, post this in the Discord. I'm sure you already have. Benavidez, Bam, Mason, Sarukian. I love that Sarukian pick. Dan Hooker's more of an influencer these days around. What do you think of Bilal and Ian Gary? My father always told me, Eddie, Johnny, bet with your wallet, not with your heart. So I'm friends with Bilal. I've known Bilal since 2015. He's a Midwest boy, friends with his coach, Lewis Taylor. Put the guns down, Taylor. I don't think there was a happier guy. There was probably more happier people than me. But when Lewis Taylor knocked out um, my, Agamos, he won the PFL tournament in 2019 against a kid who Agamedov, I think. I was super happy for him, and they've been Lou has had Bilal since Bilal was a teenager. So I'm not going to bet on that fight, but Bilal's my guy. I never bet against Bilal Muhammad. Sue Boy might have less power pound for pound than Haney right now. He's going to have to learn to sit down more on his shots. He's nice, though. Okay, there you go. So, Kiza, are you... So, is the dog alert off? Is our dog watch off? Is Quadras a no bet? Let us know. We're relying on you, Kiza. I'm doing the same, Johnny, but putting Haney to do it. Okay, that man, you be making money. You know what you're doing. Yeah, so I'm putting my Norman bets on a separate ticket. You're going to, yeah, the juice is worth the squeeze on either Norman or Haney, whatever side you're on, to just put it by itself. I'm gonna load up for me, my wagering for me. I'm gonna load up on Norman, but I'm not putting him part of my parlay because it could go either way. I would assume they both end within the distance. Both, there he is. See, the chat keeps us educated. Abus Magomedov, right? I think that was his name. He fought Sean Strickland. I thought Sean Brady would, and and Lewis was a 5-1 dog, and just walked him. He caught him cold, right, and just caught him with a right hand. And Lewis is a grappler. He won on strikes. It was amazing. It was great to see. Put the guns down, Taylor. Handguns. Lewis handguns, Taylor. I thought Sean Brady would have. I took Morales to win by stoppage. These long, young, rangy strikers going against these front foot American style grappler. Those are just bad matchups. Sean Brady's a dog too. But we didn't Bilal. I think Bilal was the first to domesticate Brady. I gotta watch more on Quadras. Guys, we have a live stream. Paulie Malignaggi. Tommy Rainone. Myself. 12 o'clock. Be there or be square. How do I get into Discord? Ryan, to get into the Discord, it's pinned here. You join on YouTube. Johnny says boxing membership. Join just level 1. Level 1 gets you in the door, mate. The difference in level 1's literally a couple bucks a month, gets you in the door. Level 2, every month you get to request a fight of your choice that I professionally shoot, so the stats don't lie videos. You get once a month any fight, no matter how obscure or how mainstream it is, that I do a breakdown analysis, prediction upload of your choice once a month. Those are level 2s, and level 3s are a fitness package. So you're here just for the game. Level 1, brother. Yeah. Exactly. Level 1 gets you in the door. It's why we started. Guys, my main objective here is the community. I say it every live stream. It's all about building the community. My goal 2 years ago was to create a space where I could find like-minded boxing heads that we could agree, that we could disagree, that we could debate, and we don't have to be mean. Like, growing up, man, dude, you know how toxic online world is, and it can be. I was like, I don't want any of that, and I don't want to be clickbaity. I don't want to trash specific fighters. And over time, this is what we're doing. So my goal, that community, it's working out for us. So on that note, the live stream at 12, I got to say, I've been friends with Tommy for a while. This would be my first interaction with Paulie. I grew up watching Paulie Malignaggi, so it's going to be fun, both for me as being the host and being a fan, because that Paulie Malignaggi Miguel Cotto fight for me on Puerto Rican Independence Day in New York City at the Garden in 2004, when you had two young champions, half of the Garden was Italian. half was Puerto Rican. You had Miguel Cotto and Paulie Malignaggi, one of my favorite fights. Paulie comes in looking all pretty with the Jersey Shore hair before the Jersey Shore was the Jersey Shore. The Magic Man coming in all looking like a GQ model, and you got Miguel Cotto, young Cotto, dangerous Cotto, and half the Guardian is with the Italians, and the other half is Puerto Ricans. And Miguel Cotto for 6 rounds beat the freaking brakes off Malignaggi. But in typical Malignaggi fashion, he was getting Cotto's distance, he was getting his timing, he was getting his counters. Cotto started fading a little bit. Malignaggi started winning these mid rounds, and the fight at the end was really close. It was a really fun fight. I've never, I to this day, I can't remember another fight when a fighter comes into the ring looking in such a way pretty and leaving unrecognizable. Miguel Cotto, he must hit like a goddamn, he must hit like a truck, and we know he hits like a truck. But it's a fun fight. It's a fight nobody really talks about. It's one of my favorite fights. Me and Paulie are the same age. I would have been like 22 there. So, and at the time, my childhood buddy Kelly Pavlik had just turned pro, and I was always either at Atlantic City or Mountaineer, West Virginia, watching the fights. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is the era of like Paul Spadafora. I was always watching him. This is in person. So yeah. Anyway, Malignaggi's coming on the show with Tommy in about 5 hours. Stay tuned. We got a super chat, late super chat. My guy, Alan Moda, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Alan Moda, as Johnny says, insider. He's in the Discord. Thank you for the support. However you can support me, guys, whether liking this video, commenting, joining, or subscribing.